friends, today what we are going to do is we are going to practice make different types of texture. Okay, so let's see the supplies that we need. We need paper, we need crayons, we need if you don't have crayons, you can use even a pencil. Okay, and then we will need to find some things to make the texture with, but right now this is all that we need. We need just half of a paper, so I'm going to cut the paper in half. I'm folding the paper like a book, matching both the sides, the left and the right side, and then I make a nice crease and then open it, and then I'm going to cut on the crease. If you need help with this, get the help from an adult. So we just need half of a paper. Okay, and then before I start explaining what the texture is, let's do one more thing. I'm going to fold the paper in half again, like this, like a book again. Okay, and then one more time, like a book. Okay, so now the paper is this way. I'm going to match this side and this side like that, and then when I open, what I have is, if you can't do this yourself, get the help. Okay, when you open, you have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 sections inside. Okay, then right in the middle, you're going to take a black marker, or you can use a pencil, color pencil. What I'm going to do is I'm taking my big black marker, and you can write your favorite letter in the middle. Okay, so if it's A, go ahead, write A, B, C, D, whatever it is. So I'm going to write J right in the middle. Okay, so you can do this with a pen also. Whatever you have, you're going to write that, write the letter with whatever you have at home. Okay, so next we are going to, so I use J because I'm Mrs. J, right? So that's why I have J here. You guys, as I said, you can use whatever letter you want. Maybe it's just the first letter of your name. Go ahead, put that. Then in each of these sections, what we are going to do is we are going to put a different texture in each of this. So what is texture? Texture. What is texture? Texture, there are two types of texture. Okay, the first one, you don't need to remember the name, but I will tell you the names, but you don't have to, because you are teeny tiny people. You are not in 6th grade or 7th grade, or not even in 5th grade, so you don't have to remember this, but I'm just telling you what it is. There are two types of texture. One is called a tactile texture. Okay, tactile, T. Tactile texture is, so just remember, T is there in touch. Tactile means something that you can touch and experience the how it is. Something, texture that you can experience. Okay, then there is visual texture. What do you think it is? Visual means something that you can see. Okay, these things you can only be seen with the eyes, but you cannot touch it and feel it. Okay, so it's like, for an example, like if you look at a photo or a drawing or a painting, you see texture, right? So you are seeing a bear. So suppose you are looking at a picture of a bear, and then what do you see? You see how the fur of the bear is, and by looking at it, by seeing it, you can you will feel like, though you're not actually seeing it, you may feel like you can feel it, right? So that type of texture is called a visual texture, something that you can see, but and when you see it, you think you know how it feels, right? So that is visual texture. Tactile texture is something that is there and you can touch it and feel it. So let me show you some tactile texture. So this thing is right there in front of me, and it is a little bit bumpy. I can feel it, right? I can touch it and feel it, and I can this type of texture that I can actually feel, it's called tactile texture. But if somebody drew, so I'm going to, so I am drawing the mat here. I'm drawing the bumps on the mat here, but do you think I can feel the bumps on the on this drawing? No, but I can still see it. Okay, when I see it, I can see that it is bumpy. So that is visual texture. Okay, so what we need to do is, you guys need to find things that you can feel. So you need to find things that are bumpy, not things that are smooth. Okay, when you use something that is, I have a mat here and it is smooth. So when I draw on top of that, when I color on top of that, you won't be able to see any texture because it is smooth. You won't be able to make a texture or a rubbing from a smooth surface. So what you need to do is, you need to see, when you run your hand on this, you can hear that, right? Something that is bumpy. So here is one example. Here is another example. So then you see the holes. When I rub on top of these holes, I'll be able to make a nice rubbing or a texture on with that. This, can you see here? So this is bumpy. This can make a nice texture. The letters on the screen are bumpy, it is raised, so that can be used for making a nice texture. Here I have something that is bumpy. So when you are going around looking for things to make the texture, see that it is flat. Can you see this is flat? If it is curvy, okay, it won't be easy to make a texture with. Let me show you an example. So here I have a net that is has a nice texture, but because this is a big one, I'll still be able to put it and then make a texture if I want. But if it had been smaller and if it had been like this, it would be difficult for you to make texture with. And another place where you can find texture is, you can find texture maybe on the wall, maybe on the tiles, on the floor, and maybe some nice leaves rubbing. Leaves also have nice texture on it. Here I have a shoe. The bottom of the shoe has a nice pattern or nice texture. This is a new one. See, the thing is still inside. That's why I'm using this. If your shoe is dirty, I don't want you guys to go touch it with your clean hands, okay? Because there are so many things going around, virus and all those things. I don't want you guys to fall sick, okay? This is a new shoe, that's why I have that. I have this, see, another thing to make a texture with. I'm showing things that I collected today too. Here, this has a nice texture. Only thing you need to do when you're finding things that has texture is find things that are hard to feel. If it is soft, so this is a little bit in between, like it's flexible. But if I put it on something hard, it will be able to give me a nice texture. But this one is thick and like, when I press it, it is soft. So though there is patterns on this, I won't be able to make a nice texture with this one. Okay, so now let's see what we are going to do with all these things that we found. Okay, so when you go and find the things for making texture, you can pause the video and then come back, and then you can we can do the texture thing together. So what are you looking for? Looking for something that is lumpy, bumpy, or slightly pokey. Okay, so go find those things and come back. I'll be waiting here. Are you guys back? Okay, so let's see what we are going to do. So can you see the lines that we made? The folds, right? There is one line here like this. There is a fold here in between. So inside each section, you're going to make a different texture. So I'm going to make my first texture in this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use only 2 colors for this. You can use any color in the rainbow. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use 2 colors that look similar to each other. This is blue and this is blue green. Maybe this is this is blue green and this is purple. What am I saying? Or I could have used purple and blue. I like this color, blue green, and this purple. See that you use some dark colors like this, like so let me show you. Don't use yellow or this color, because you won't be able to get a nice rubbing with that. Or you can even use that. Maybe you can use 2 colors. Let me show you what I mean by that. Okay, so this would be a nice 2 colors, because these 2 are dark colors. It will show the rubbings really well. Or if you're using a light color, what you can use is you can use so these 2 colors are close together in the rainbow, right? So if you're using these 2, you can put these 2 together. Do you get it? These 2 together and orange and red together. Maybe let me show you that way, so that way you'll... So watch. So when you're rubbing, you're going to put your crayon sideways, not like you are drawing something. So this, because it is light, you are not able to see the texture well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the orange on top. See why I said not to use the lighter color alone? But when you use 2 colors together, it's a nice color. So I have the square filled with that. The next one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use orange and red in the next one. Oh, I should have used a different texture. So each section you're going to use a different texture. So I'm going to put this away and I'm going to take the next texture, maybe this one. I'm going to put it like this. I'm going to... This one is so bumpy, I can hear the sound. Maybe I'll put some orange. So if you have a crayon that is new, you can even use the bottom part of the crayon, the flat side, and you can rub it this way. So I have another type of texture. Am I able to feel that? No. But when I look at it, it is bumpy. I feel that there is something bumpy there. So that is why you can see it, but you cannot feel it. Okay. So I'm going to put the next texture in this one. I'm going to use maybe 2 different colors next to each other in the rainbow, this and this together. So see that the paper is not moving. Should I use the bottom part to get it? I think I moved so I couldn't see the dots. Okay, now I'm going to take the next one to create the next texture. Can you hear the sound? Can you see the bumpy thing? Okay. Now, so that is another texture we got. I'm going to take the next one, put it down because this is not flat. It will be a little bit difficult. You need to hold it up like that. And then, what are the 2 colors? Red. So see that you stay inside the lines. Okay, I'm going to put the next color on top. Okay, so next, what is the next texture that we have? So this way we're going to fill the whole paper with different texture. You can use the bottom part also. Okay, next. We have 2 more places to fill in. Using the bottom. So when it is a darker color, can you see how well you can see the texture showing? Okay. Now one last. Maybe I'll use red and then we have a nice textured paper. Okay, and when you feel, you don't feel anything, but when you look at it, you'll be able to you will feel like you are seeing something that is bumpy or something that is scratchy or something that is what is it, lumpy, bumpy, scratchy, what are the word, I can't even think of a word, rough. Okay, so these are some of the textures that we made. Maybe if you have more time, like free time, to try out more textures, go around the house and find more things that is rough or bumpy, and things that can make a texture with and make more texture patterns and keep. Okay, so another thing I want you guys to do is, we collected all these supplies, right, to make the texture. I want you guys to put everything back where you found it, and then put your crayons, everything back, and then you are done for today. So till we meet next week, bye bye.